The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WCLE or its employees.
All right. Good afternoon and welcome to the Andrew Morgan Show. This is your guest host, Josh Radford, again, filling in for Andrew, and I got my colleague, Ben Apsher, here with me today. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing all right. How about you, Josh?
Doing well. It's Friday, and Andrew didn't show up for his show again, and so I guess we're doing it. So
got himself stuck in court like he always does,
He's
which
like,
is the sign of a busy lawyer, which I suppose is a good thing.
Yeah. Our listeners out there, like, Andrew is the horrible dad that doesn't show up for visitation, and they're the disappointed child sitting there hoping Daddy's going to show. But they get us instead. So not that we have any listeners, but so anyways, what do you want to talk about today, Ben?
Well, I want to talk about NBA playoff basketball because there's lots to talk about.
Sounds good.
The first thing is that I'm very sad that all of my teams have been knocked out. In the East, we had my team is the Heat, and the Heat got absolutely obliterated by the Bucks, who they obliterated last year. So it was pathetic. You could say that they're, the Heat having several of their main players injured at various points during the season meant they couldn't develop their chemistry and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, they just sucked in the playoffs, and they lost really bad. So then we had the Lakers in the West get knocked out, which I sort of expected since we had all these injury problems. And then we had my favorite team, the Portland Trailblazers, also get knocked out by who knocked them out?
Nuggets.
Yes, the Nuggets. So it be what it be without Jamal Murray. So that really tells you the Blazers need to get it together somehow. But
at least your team made it. So.
Yeah.
my Cavaliers didn't even sniff the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they have the number 3 pick this year, so I guess that's something to be excited about.
There's all sorts of trade rumors going on with the Blazers. I'm sure there's trade rumors going on with all the teams, but my phone listens to me when I watch basketball or talk about basketball, or when I'm sleeping and talking in my sleep about basketball. And so it only tells me stuff about the Portland Trailblazers.
Sure.
They have to get a new coach. They fired Terry Stotts.
I saw that, yeah.
They apparently the finalists are Chauncey Billups, who's an assistant for somebody, maybe the Clippers. I think Becky something. That's the head coach for the North Carolina college team, I think.
Okay.
Right?
Becky Hammond?
Yes, that's
I think she is an assistant, or was an assistant with the Spurs.
That could be it.
But
there was somebody they interviewed for that was coaching the Tar Heels.
Yeah, she's an assistant coach with the Spurs. If she does get hired, she'd be the first female NBA head coach. So
that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be interesting, to say the least. So, women's rights and power. Not bad. So let's talk playoffs. Obviously, we're in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals now. The Suns are up 2-1. Clippers finally got a win last night. Looks like they pretty much pulled away and dominated in the second half and won 106-92. So, who do you like in this matchup?
Well, after the first 2 games, I certainly was seeing the Suns taking it probably without 7 games. Probably not in 4, but without going to 7. But the Clippers have lost the first 2 games of every series so far in the playoffs and have come back to win. The part about it that's the real question mark for me is the fact that Kawhi Leonard is probably out for the remainder of the season with a knee issue. But even though he was out for most of the series against the Jazz with the best record in the NBA and a completely, as far as I'm aware, completely healthy roster, at least compared to most teams right now. They still won, and Paul George actually played well in the playoffs.
Sure.
So, who knows?
All right, guys. Sorry about that. We had a quick interruption, and people were walking through. And but anyways, we were talking about the Suns and the Clippers series here. Obviously, last night Paul George went off for 27. You had Reggie Jackson that went off for 23. So had pretty good games. the Clippers, I mean not the Clippers, but the Suns, they had 5 different players scoring double digits, but not really getting the production of Devin Booker or Chris Paul like they would normally expect. So.
15 points apiece. They shot 10% from the field, just about.
Paul was 5 of 19 and Booker was 5 of 21. So not very good.
Between 25 and 33%.
Yeah,
somewhere in there. So that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
and Chris Paul is one of those guys that I think is a very underrated scorer. Typically, like if he wants to take over a game and he gets to a spot at the corners of on the corners,
sure,
and pulls up for a jump shot, he's a really good mid-range shooter.
Yeah, I think having him back last night maybe messed up the flow, and they got to get used to playing with each other again, and hopefully they'll be all right for Game 4 and bounce back.
Yeah, that or the Clippers just need 2 games to figure out how to beat teams.
That might be it too. So
there was a lot of. I mean, I actually watched good defense in that game and hustle on both sides, which is one of the reasons that playoff basketball is so much better than regular season basketball.
100% agree.
Actually, watching teams play defense to some degree that could be annoying if you're just watching it for the fun of watching it, like that game where the Nets and the Bucks only got up to like 85 points apiece because they played such good defense. They were all throwing up bricks.
Yep.
As far as watching, it is fun to watch people score, but it's fun also to watch people actually play defense. Other story of the playoffs is the Hawks.
Yeah.
Playing so dang well.
Beating the Bucks for Game 1, 116-113. Trae Young goes off for 48 points. John Collins had 23, so pretty good game. Giannis, still had a good game. He had 34 points, and Drew Holiday had 33 for the Bucks, but just not enough to get it done.
And this has become to some degree, this has become a playoff of upsets.
Yeah.
Both number 1 seeds are out.
Yep.
Brooklyn Nets are out. Denver Nuggets are out. Clippers, and you could expect the Suns to do well. No one expected the Jazz to not be in the finals, Western Conference Finals. Anyway,
I've been picking against the Suns since the first round. I was like, "There's no way they're the Suns. They're not gonna."
Yeah.
But here they are. So.
Yeah. Poor old Steve Nash probably regrets that he's not coaching the Suns. He's coaching the Nets instead.
Yeah. I actually forgot he was coaching there, but it looks like in other NBA news, Jason Kidd is going to be the coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
Really?
They're working on finalizing a deal.
They need to, I think Luka Doncic can learn a lot from Jason Kidd.
I think that'd be a good matchup. I know Jay Kidd has had a few head coaching stops, I think, in his career, and I think he had some success early on, and then his second job I don't think really went that well. So I think he's been an assistant the past few years or somewhere, but we're getting another shot. So
with the Lakers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. Here's a question for you for your consideration: Is Trae Young the next Steph Curry?
Yeah,
or
possibly.
the next Steph Curry-esque generation player.
I think so, but they also too. I know a lot of Trae Young stuff is kind of, and same with like James Harden. They're implementing a new rule that they can't do like these funky shots anymore, just to draw fouls, like jumping into people and things like that. Or so it may drop them some points.
Could be
as far as scoring that rule, but. I guess they could always adapt to. Great players do. So I think he's a very good player. I guess we'll see if he's a Steph Curry.
Yeah, I mean he's the same year. He's in the same year as Luka, right?
Yeah,
I think they're probably the greatest players of their generation so far. You never know who's going to have a breakout year one year. And
who else was in that draft? Let's see.
I don't know. I don't know.
They definitely, I would say, are the best two from that draft. I think maybe was DeAndre Ayton in that draft or?
What pick was Trae Young?
Oh yeah, so DeAndre Ayton went number 1. Trae Young was actually picked number 5 for the Hawks, and Luka was number 3. So. 1 and 2 was DeAndre Ayton, who's having a pretty decent career so far with Phoenix. and Marvin Bagley Jr. with the Kings, which I think he's done fairly well. Outside of that, though, I mean, the top 10 players, I mean, I don't really... Mikal Bridges with the Suns now, he's doing pretty good. Kevin Knox, never even heard of him. Colin Sexton's had a pretty decent start with the Cavs, but they are the Cavs, so...
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Wendell Carter Jr., Mohamed Bamba, I don't even know that he might still be playing. I don't even know. Jaren Jackson Jr. round out the top 10. Yeah, I definitely say Trae Young and Luka were the best two of the draft. So
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, I'm excited to see what happens. I really do hope the Hawks come out of the East.
Yeah.
I would feel a little bad to see Giannis do that to himself again.
Sure.
But at the same point, since the Hawks made their coaching change in the middle of the season, they have the best record in the NBA.
I think that's...
Other than maybe the Suns or the Jazz.
Okay. I think that's worked out really good for teams.
They've become a good team somehow.
Yeah.
Like, no one thought about it, but they, shot up to fifth. If they had played that way the regular season, they might have been the 1 or 2 seed.
They've they had some rough years, but they drafted really well, and they built up picks and took good players, and it's paying off for them now. So
yeah, it's pretty nice.
Worked that way.
Pretty nice, but we'll see. I almost want to see Paul George win a championship without Kawhi, so he can kind of put that playoff Pete business to rest.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll still probably chant it, but that's fine.
I just don't see him getting one.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping for Suns and Hawks. I think that'll be the best series and the most intriguing one too. I'm tired of seeing all the same people in the finals, and Giannis hadn't made one, but he's been a regular stay in the playoffs for a while. Paul George has been too. Kawhi's obviously won a few himself with the Spurs and the Raptors, so I think it'd be fun for Chris Paul to get one. So.
Yeah, it'd be pretty nice. Pretty nice. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Is there a game tonight? I think so.
Yeah, Hawks and Bucks, yeah.
Okay,
so
sounds
we'll
good.
Who comes out.
Well, do you have some fun facts for us that I wanted to ask you?
I have a random list, so
we didn't check this list beforehand, so you're getting real reactions to real fun facts.
All right, so
because our reactions are very important to our viewers, they care a lot what we think.
These are lame. Okay,
that's fine.
All right, so we'll just pick a random one. All right, so this one says experiments in universities have actually been carried out to figure out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, both with machine and human lickers. Because this is important scientific knowledge. The results range from 252 to 411 licks to get to the center.
252 to 411 licks. That's not even an answer to the question. That range is way too broad.
I guess it determines how hot your tongue is, or how.
I guess. But that sucks. I was kind of hoping that you could empirically prove that. But
we know it wasn't 3, according to the commercial. But,
yeah, that owl was not a...
How many licks does it take you, Ben?
I have no idea. I don't lick the thing. I crunch it up and eat it.
Yeah, I like the crunchiness. Okay, here's a cool one. The original name for the search engine Google was Backrub. It was renamed Google after the Google, which is the number followed by 100 zeros.
Why would it be back rub?
I don't know. Maybe an easy, you rub my back, I'll rub your back, so you're searching for something, it's helping you out, rubbing your back. I guess. Who knows? Oh.
I don't know. But that just, who would think I need to know something? Let me go to backrub.com.
Yeah.
Granted, I guess Google doesn't represent like a searching, the word represents a number. It doesn't have anything to do with searching for something or finding something. It's just a number. But you could say that's because they're...
But I guess if it was called Backrub and never Google, we'd never know.
Yeah, that's true. We'd probably get used to it. If they never changed the name, it would just be a staple at this point. We would all just get used to it. I don't know. You like my mug?
Let me see. In case of emergency, ask Benjamin. Source of all wisdom.
Hashtag source of all wisdom.
Interesting.
I had this at home. I decided to bring it to work since people are always asking me questions.
So here's a fun fact, but I'll turn it into a question. What is the body's largest organ?
The skin.
Oh, dang. Well, you knew. I was like, I got him.
Nope. Too smart.
Fine.
I watched Jeopardy.
You watched it. Fair enough.
Who's hosting Jeopardy now?
It's basically a new host every week. So you've had people from Aaron Rodgers on
Aaron
there.
Rodgers did well.
He did. The chick that was on The Big Bang Theory that dated Sheldon, Amy, but I forget Maya Halleck or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
She's hosted.
I was hoping you were going to say Penny.
No, not Penny. Not Penny.
She's the best.
She hosted, and then I think there's been some news anchors at Hogan. So it's been a bunch of random people.
Yeah. I haven't watched it in a while. I don't have cable, so that kind of gets in the way. But I think it's on Netflix now.
What? Jeopardy? Yeah. I've seen. They have some older seasons on there.
Yeah. And honestly, it really doesn't matter. What's the difference between Jeopardy in the 80s and Jeopardy now? It's exactly the same. So, no big deal.
Right.
If you watch old stuff.
Did you know that the different colors of Fruit Loops cereal all taste the same? They're not individual flavors.
I did not know that.
And I
would not have expected that, but at the same time, that makes sense.
Oh. Also, did you know what's inside of a Kit Kat? It's actually
peanut butter?
No. Broken Kit Kats that are damaged during production. They get ground up and go between the wafers inside, along with cocoa and sugar.
Huh.
That's a way not to let anything go to waste.
That sounds about right. I mean, that doesn't deter me from eating Kit Kats at all. I like Kit Kats.
They're delicious.
Pretty good.
Another fun one here. Flamin' Hot Cheetos were developed by a janitor at Frito-Lay. Richard Montanez, who got the idea after putting chili powder on some reject Cheetos and then pitched it to the CEO. He's now a successful executive and motivational speaker, and movies in the works about his life.
It only takes one good idea. That's it. That motivates me every day. It only takes one good idea. I have a great idea that I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about right now?
I actually have a great Cheeto idea.
Okay.
And Cheeto, if you want to do this, let's do it. So
I'm sure Cheeto executives are watching.
I would love. So basically, you got your Flamin' Hot Cheetos, but you have chips already that are cheddar and sour cream. Cheddar and sour cream Cheetos.
I don't know about that.
Be delicious.
Might take some getting used to, but maybe.
Be delicious.
Maybe. Here's my idea. I've been thinking about this. I've not said anything to anyone because I've been trying to figure out how it would work. So you know how you have chains on? You can put chains on your tires.
Patent pending, folks.
Yeah, you know, Ice Road Truckers. That show they put chains on their tires when they need to. You can put chains on any vehicle to add traction if you need to in bad weather conditions.
Sure.
And obviously, everybody wants. In those situations, it's great to have 4-wheel drive because you can, you know, you're not going to slip. Like my truck is a rear wheel 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So I would get stuck super easy.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, obviously you have to pay a lot more money for a 4-wheel drive vehicle. What if you could make your 2-wheel drive vehicle a 4-wheel drive vehicle when you wanted it to be? And I don't mean like some crazy engine modification, because at that point just buy a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
Sure.
But let's say that I need a 4-wheel drive vehicle for a job of some sort, which is not out of the realm of possibility with me doing random things for money.
Sure.
So let's say I needed one. What if there were chains on all 4 tires, but there was a way to, like with a rod on the outside of both tires that is connected to the chain on the wheels that actually are connected to the drive shaft that run the length of the car to whichever set of wheels, front or rear, are not driven by the drive shaft, so that when the drive shaft turns the wheels of either the back or the front, that rod, like a locomotion, like a train.
So what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because with a train, it just has a bar that's connected to all the wheels and goes like this.
Okay.
What if you did that with chains and you could turn your 2-wheel drive vehicle into a 4-wheel drive vehicle?
How does it give you extra traction?
Because it turns all 4 wheels instead of just 2.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
I don't know how the mechanics of that would work as far as like the engine trying to, a 2-wheel drive motor trying to drive 4 wheels. I think it would work. But
we'll test it out on your car.
It would probably take a lot of testing, and I'm not a welder, and there's all sorts of reasons that I would probably have problems. The part about it is you'd have to get the chains tight enough on the tire that it wouldn't just spin the tire inside the chains.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it's a great idea. I think I can make some money, and it probably already exists.
Probably.
Yeah.
You never know. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You know, Bradley County just has always been special. The people are amazing. You know, being from here, growing up, we really pride ourselves on taking care of our friends and neighbors. And so that's what I love about Cleveland is just the camaraderie, the fellowship, the friendship, the fact that 95% of the people you see out here would give you the shirt off their back if they knew you or didn't know you. And that's Cleveland, that's Bradley County.
The law offices of Andrew B. Morgan pride themselves in serving the Bradley County community.
Welcome back to the Andrew Morgan Show. Joshua Radford here with Benjamin Absher, filling in for Andrew, who's an absentee father, as we discussed earlier. But we're going to talk to Ben about movies now. Anything good coming out? Anything you've watched recently?
You know what came out today? Today? Fast 9.
Oh, okay.
The worst and simultaneously most awesome movie franchise.
I wouldn't say it's the worst. I mean, well, they got more Rockies. There's more Fast movies, I think, than Rocky movies now. So I guess
there are. Rocky movies are good movies, though.
They are. I like the Fast movies now. Granted, I haven't watched, and I think the last one that I watched was the one before Paul Walker died. Oof. So the last one.
So you haven't seen some of these new ones?
I've not seen the one that Paul Walker died halfway through filming.
There's 2 or 3 since then.
I think. I've been on a hiatus, but I am excited about this one though because they are. I do need to get caught up because they're bringing back Han in this one, who supposedly died in Tokyo Drift, but obviously was in movies after that because they happened before Tokyo Drift. So should be interesting.
Yeah, that could be cool.
So,
yeah, I'm probably gonna try and go see it this weekend.
Really? That'd be fun.
I haven't been to the movies, I think, since before COVID.
Yeah, I've not been in a.
Also, Black Widow comes out in July.
Oh, they're finally releasing it.
Which I think Maddie is going to appreciate because she has aspirations to be an assassin.
Oh, well,
so yeah. Actually, Maddie's my wife. For those of you who don't know, another fun fact about.
So you'll be the first one she kills.
Yeah, I'll be the first victim. When she went to college here at Lee, she grew up in Nashville. She kind of just moved on from the high school scene. There were a couple of people that she stayed in contact with, but generally speaking, she didn't. And apparently, a rumor developed that she did not start or encourage, that she moved to Russia to become an assassin because that's the vibe that she gives off, or at least used to give off in high school.
Sure. All right.
So we'll probably go see Black Widow as well.
Sure.
I'm sure she'll appreciate that one.
She
liked Wonder Woman.
It looks pretty good. I'm also excited to see the other new Marvel movie that's coming out soon, Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. First.
Is that a spinoff of Doctor Strange?
I don't know. I don't think so. He's a Marvel hero, but he's going to be the first title character first main character that's Asian in a Marvel movie. So the main character also played on a show that I'm watching right now with my wife. It's called Ken's Convenience. It's a Canada-based show they have on Netflix, but it's super hilarious. It's about an Asian family that runs a convenience store. Super good show. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Okay.
So,
Speaking of Canada-based shows, I don't know if you've seen this one or not. It's apparently Emmy nominated or award-winning or something like this. It's hard to start because it's a little bit cringy, but once you get into it, it's a great show.
Okay.
And I'll have to say the name and then apologize and then spell it for you. But it's called Schitt's Creek.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it.
And they spell it SCHITT'.
Yes. So it's a last name.
It's a very It's a very dry, kind of cringy type show about these rich people who become the victims of maybe a Ponzi scheme or the guy that owns this big video store company. I think the board of directors do a bunch of shady stuff and set him up to be the fall guy. Whatever it is, they basically lose everything. They stop at this hotel in this community called Schitt's Creek, and they wind up basically putting down roots there. And it's interesting to see the interaction of them with all these poor country people and crazy people and all the characters. It's kind of like The Office in the way that all the characters are drastically different. It's not just cookie cutter, people are all the same. They're very, very different characters.
The synopsis of this show sounds kind of familiar to me, especially with Eugene Levy being in it. Obviously, Eugene Levy's a hilarious guy, but it sounds like a movie that he's been in too. I don't know if Medea's Witness Protection.
Yes.
Where he is also a major executive that is rich and lost his money, and they stuck him in the ghetto, I guess.
His whole acting persona, people use him just for bad things to happen, and he'd be like, what?
He's great, though. I love him.
That's his character in all the movies.
Love him in American Pie as well.
Haven't seen that one. What's American Pie about?
American Pie?
I know I'm supposed to know that.
It's kind of like... It's just like a coming-of-age story, I guess. You got a kid who... Good Lord, it's been forever since I've seen it. But basically, I think he's trying to get laid.
Okay.
But it's got Allison Hannigan in it, too, from How I Met Your Mother, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And
which one's that one? Who is that?
She's the redhead. Lily. Yeah,
okay.
She's in that. She's in those movies. Honestly, it's been so long since I've seen it. I don't know what the main plot is.
Does it have the American Pie song in it?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's been so long since I've seen it that I'd have to watch it again. I found, used to, I hated watching things a second time because I thought there's no point. I've already seen it once. But now that I've gotten older, I'm forgetting all this stuff that happened in these things. I need to watch it again because I feel like I'm missing out on something good. So it's new again.
Yeah,
so.
I watch movies more than once. Granted, I grew up when I was a kid. We sometimes had cable and sometimes we'd shut it off. And there was a very long period of time where we didn't have cable and we just had movies.
Sure.
So if I was going to watch TV, it was watching movies, and half the time it was just rewatching stuff I'd already seen. Movies I would watch over and over and over and over and never complain about it and be happy of it are as follows. Lord of the Rings.
Sure.
Harry Potter.
Sure.
A movie called Secondhand Lions. Heard of that?
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it.
Robert Duvall and Michael Caine and Haley Joel Osment from I See Dead People movie, Sixth Sense. Yeah. Wild America. It's an old 90s Jonathan Taylor Thomas movie.
Yeah.
Great
I remember
movie.
that one.
What else? Those are the main ones. Definitely the main ones. I love all those movies.
My favorite movie I'm more of a TV person myself. Any kind of teen drama, I'm all about it.
God.
Love it. One Tree Hill, The OC,
No.
whatever it is, I love it.
No.
Dawson's Creek, yes.
No.
But my favorite movie of all time, and I watch it once every year around Christmas, is The Family Man with Nicolas Cage. And basically the synopsis of it is
write that down.
Sure. It's kind of a Christmas movie, but not really a Christmas movie. Basically, he's a rich businessman. At the beginning of the movie, they show you a clip basically where he's like this long-haired, bearded guy, and he's running off to school, and his girlfriend's telling him not to leave him, which is Téa Leoni. Anyways, then it flashes forward, and he did leave, and they didn't make it. They didn't get together, and she ends up being successful too. But she's in town, and he goes and sees her. But anyways, he kind of wonders what his life would be like, with her. And basically, he meets this guy that's kind of like an angel. And then the next day, when he wakes up and he's in a life of where he's been married to her for years, and they have kids together. But obviously, he doesn't remember any of it because he's just waking up in this life. And so basically, it's given him a glimpse of what life would have been like if he would made a different decision. So
at the end of the movie, turns out it was just a big fever dream?
Yeah, it was. Okay. But he does, I'm not going to give you too many spoilers, but at the end of the movie, he goes and they're basically talking, and he tells her about this dream that he's basically had about the life that they would have had together. So there's hope for them, I guess. It kind of bothers me that I don't know if they've ever, figured it out or not, but yeah. So
another great movie, The Prestige. Have you seen that one?
I want to say I've seen bits and pieces, but not all the way through. Is that with
I'm so bad with actors.
Is it Leonardo DiCaprio?
No. It's whoever played Batman. What's his name? It's escaping me.
George Clooney?
Nope. Newest back. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Okay.
And
Mark Wahlberg?
Nope.
No.
And the guy that played Wolverine. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Thank you. I can list movies that I know that these people are in and can never think of their names. Those are the two main characters. It's very good.
I've not actually seen this movie. I do. Is it about magic and
magicians?
Yes.
But it's but it's not like actual magic. It's magicians back in probably the 20s or 30s that are competing with each other and have this feud going on. And one of them ends up developing this trick that the other one can't figure out, and it drives them crazy. And then there's a big reveal at the end that absolutely shocks you that you did not see coming, and it's pretty cool.
It actually sounds pretty good.
It's a really good movie.
I really enjoy movies that are not like superhero movies or big series anymore, because I just don't feel like they get enough attention anymore. It's all what superhero movies coming out this year, monster movie like Godzilla and stuff like that. And I feel like the lower type movies that aren't romantic comedies or thrillers or drama, they don't get the recognition they should.
I like clever movies.
Yeah,
that's the reason that I normally don't like scary movies or gory movies or anything like that, but I loved the Saw movies. They were very smart. They were very clever. They were very psychological. They were very interconnected, and it was very cool.
I think I've seen the first 3 Saw movies, and they were pretty good.
Yeah, there's another one out now with Chris
Rock. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. One of my I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite, but one that I really enjoyed that came out was an Adam Sandler movie, Uncut Gems. And it's a serious role that he plays in that movie. And he's still a little kind of funny in it, but it's not his normal water boy type comedy. But basically he's playing this. He owns a jewelry store in either Boston or New York or something like that, or Philadelphia. And he's got a gambling problem. Basically his wife has left him and things like that, and he's got some new chick or whatever. But anyways, he owes these people money that he's borrowed, and they're kind of after him in the movie. And finally at the end he gets the big payoff, and basically everybody dies.
Oh,
so
great.
It's
great.
But he did a phenomenal job for a serious role. I was heavily surprised. I probably wouldn't even have gone and seen the movie, but I was out when it came out. This beginning of 2020. I had flew out for one day to Arizona to see my brother. We were going to a football game, and we had time to kill, so we just went and watched a random movie, and that was the random one.
Oh, there you go.
So it was good. But
well, on the happy note of death all around, I guess that's it for us. We're out of time.
Yeah. So thanks for listening in. I'm sorry if it was horrible. I know you all like to hear Andrew, I guess, talk about nothing more than us, but we're still in.
Talked about more than nothing.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully Andrew will be back next week. But like us on Facebook. It's Law Office of Andrew B. Morgan. Here for all your legal needs, and we hope you have a great day. Thanks.